Today we're joined on Let's Talk Bitcoin by Flavion Charlon, who's a developer on the CoinPrism wallet, which is one of the colored coin projects. So we at Let's Talk Bitcoin have never actually talked about the colored coin project. This is recording this, and it'll probably go on episode 97. This is the first time we've actually even interfaced with this project. But basically, it's an alternative way to do smart property, and actually it was one of the first. Can you kind of give us a background on the project and what it is?
Yeah, so CoinPrism is the first web wallet that uses colored coin. And so colored coin is a way to add the secondary value onto a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin. And then you can transfer that on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's a way to use the Bitcoin blockchain as a mean for transferring assets.
So when we're talking about assets, what does that look like in practice? Give me a use case here.
So what you could do is if you want to make an IPO on the blockchain, you could issue shares in the form of colored coins, and then you could send them to your investors and exchange them or like through the blockchain.
So there are other types of projects that are out there taking this approach that are kind of newer. The colored coin concept has been around for a while. What is it about colored coins that differs it from these other projects?
So some of the projects like maybe Ethereum or BitShares, they use a separate blockchain. So colored coins run on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's one of the differences with those projects. And then some other projects like Mastercoin and Counterparty use the Bitcoin blockchain, but they use also a secondary kind of currency like XCP and MSC. So it's not the case with Bitcoin. With colored coin. With colored coin, the currency it's using the native currency, which is Bitcoin. So there's no secondary currency that you need to use in order to issue user currencies.
Bitcoins are expensive. You know, they've gotten to be a bit more pricey. When we're talking about a colored coin, is that a whole Bitcoin or is it a fraction of a Bitcoin? What's the standard size for a colored coin?
So you can determine an arbitrary scale for what's going to be your colored coin. You can go as low as 1 Satoshi equals 1 colored coin. So you can, if you want to issue shares, for example, you can have 1 share encoded into 1 Satoshi, which is a very small amount of money.
That is a small amount of money. One thing it makes me think of, though, is that transaction fees are actually a fair amount higher than that. They're in the thousands of Satoshis range. So do you think that this is a problem where fees will come down over time or the value of these things will go up? Do you see a problem with using actual, Satoshis at a minimum in this system either way?
Yeah, so the main problem I would say is the dust rule, which limits you can never send an output that's less than 5,400 Satoshis. So then if you select 1 Satoshi per share, that means that you cannot send less than 5,400 shares in a transaction. So that's one of the limitations. So that's why maybe sometimes you may want to have more granularity. So in that case, you would select let's say 10,000 Satoshis for 1 share.
So tell me about CoinPrism. So this is the first web wallet that actually supports the colored coin. So you didn't invent the colored coin concept, but you're the first one to successfully implement it?
So there's also another wallet called the Chroma wallet, which is a client-side wallet, which you need to download and so on. So CoinPrism took a different approach. It's more of a blockchain.info type of website. So it's more like if you can call it the blockchain.info for colored coins. So you can just sign up in 5 minutes or even less than that and start issuing your coins. So it's very straightforward to use compared to downloading a client. And
yeah, that is something that I've noticed about these web wallets. When you're talking about the layered technologies on top, whether it's Counterparty or I don't know if this is the case with colored coins as well. I'm curious. You have to re-index the entire blockchain in order to look for these specific types of value. Is that something that you also have to do with colored coin with a full client? Obviously not with a web client.
So you don't necessarily have to do it. That's also one of the benefits of colored coins that you can use. It's not exactly SPV as you do with Bitcoin, where you can just check the block.
What does SPV mean?
So it's simple payment verification. So with Bitcoin, you would just check that your transaction got included in a block to verify the payment. You cannot really do that with colored coin because it may be a valid Bitcoin transaction, but invalid for the colored coin purposes. So you need to backtrack the coins back to the issuing transaction. You don't need to actually index the whole blockchain. You can backtrack. So it's not as efficient. If you index it, it's going to be faster, but it's going to take more resources.
I see. You said the Chroma wallet is a lot like blockchain.info. One of the things that's interesting about blockchain.info compared to a lot of the earlier wallets is that it actually doesn't hold your keys, and so therefore blockchain, if you are individually compromised, that can be a problem. But when it comes to the wallet itself, if the wallet itself is compromised, that's not so much of a problem. Is that the case with your wallet as well?
Yes, we use the same security model. So we encrypt the keys on the client side. and then we send them before it's sent to the server. And the password is used for decrypting the keys. So as long as the password is not compromised, even if the database may be compromised, but that's not going to put the keys into jeopardy because...
This seems like it's a model that people are using with increasing frequency and a lot of success, frankly, as a lot of these other compromises happen. When you hear about a blockchain.info, it's usually a phishing thing or some sort of secondary thing rather than them actually being compromised. So again, do you see this being the model moving forward just for web wallets in general?
It's been the model that's been the most successful so far because lots of the wallets that all the keys have been compromised before. Whereas blockchain.info, I can't think of a time where there has been a hack that was on the blockchain.info's fault and that resulted in loss of the coins.
So, with regards to CoinPrism again, you said that the wallet is up now?
Currently only in closed beta, so you need an access code to access it. But
how long do you think it's going to be in closed beta?
About a month, so we plan to release for the mainnet in about a month. Right now it's still testnet as well.
So if somebody was interested in your project, are you looking for any help? Are you looking for early adopters or early testers?
Oh yeah, we're looking for early adopters and testers, and especially if people have a use case where they would be able to issue colored coins that would be maybe shares, or it could be smart properties, or anything that would start to bootstrap the usage of colored coins. They should reach out to us, and then we can work with them to work on their use case.
Well, sounds great. Flavion, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Adam.
This is Chris Joseph bringing you news on Next, the first true second-generation cryptocurrency for April 19th, 2014. With every passing day, more and more projects are being pitched, proposed, and designed by the Next community. This week, a group of people unveiled their plans for Lith, an online multiplayer game built in the Unity engine that will embrace the features of Next by allowing virtual resources to be harvested to create goods that can then be traded on the Next marketplace. In other news, version 0.9.6 of the Next core software has now been released, moving features like 8 decimal places for Next, least forging, partial canonical signatures, which fixes transaction malleability, and even more to the live network. Everyone running a node is urged to upgrade. For more general information on Next, head to nextcrypto.org or mynxt.org. And stay tuned for more news on Next on the next Let's Talk Bitcoin broadcast.